Hey guys, how's it going? Happy weekend. Well, I guess it's the end of the weekend now since I do these on Sundays. Today I thought we would talk about, well, alcohol. Alcohol is our topic today. Because I saw this sign just on social media because I haven't actually gone to the liquor store in a couple of weeks. I buy booze kind of regularly, I guess, but I don't drink a whole lot, so my liquor store trips are usually monthly. Yeah, I don't go like every weekend like the normal person goes. But I noticed that there's this sign. I'll put it up on screen so you know what I'm referring to. And it's there's all that stuff going on with Trump, right now, and some of it kind of falls into Canada. And there's been talk about like liquor stores not shelving certain American products. And this was the moment where I realized I am more Canadian than I have felt I am over the years. It's like, yeah, I'm Canadian. Obviously, I've lived here my whole life. I always say I'm an Italian Canadian, which people find weird for some reason, but I'm full-blooded Italian and I've lived in Canada my whole life. My parents were from Italy, but like by the time I came into the picture, like they were living here, right? So yeah. And the reason I realized how Canadian I am is because I realized that while I definitely have had some drinks that are sold over in the States, my major drinks are all Canadian drinks. I have basically 3 different kind of drinks that I will drink on like a more regular basis. Keep in mind what I drink like maybe 5 alcohol type drinks a month. Like, I'm not a big drinker, not like I used to be in my 20s. And I feel fortunate because I hear all these like YouTubers express like alcohol addiction and stuff. Man, I used to drink so much in my 20s. Like yeah, it's like fucking, that was what I did. I gamed and got drunk, like yeah. And I dropped it like that. Like it was never an addiction. It was something I could either do or don't do. And then when I got into my 30s, I would say I still drank semi-regularly, but not, my 30s is when I kind of like mellowed out on, back in my 20s, I would drink every weekend, right? Now I have a lot of weekends where I don't even drink at all. When I buy, say, a 12-pack of beer, it usually lasts a couple of weeks. And I don't go through it in a weekend. Yeah, so yeah, I feel like I've lucked out in that sense because my dad was an alcoholic. So realistically, I shouldn't even want to drink, right? But I don't know. I guess it just never affected me. Yeah. I can do it or I cannot do it, and it's got no hold on me. The only thing that ever really had a hold on me was cigarettes, which I quit a little over 10 years now. And that one had a hold on me for a while. I'll fully admit I was addicted to that. But alcohol was, it was like nothing. It was kind of the same. Definitely haven't done this one in years. Back when I was younger, before I had the kids, I'd have the odd joint here and there. It would help Back then I worked 3 jobs, and I, you know, I kind of needed something that mellowed me down because of the crazy schedule I had back then. And so I'd smoke a joint every once in a while. And that was another thing. Like literally I dropped that when I found out I was pregnant with my first child, I was like, okay, I'm done with that. And I haven't touched it since, basically. Like, yeah, it's weird. A lot of those don't really affect me. That's why I laugh, and if you're struggling with alcohol, I'm not laughing at you here. But I laugh at people who seem to think that every person that, like, has a drink has a problem. They're gonna be, it don't affect everyone in that way. Nonetheless, we're getting a little off track here. Which I guess is fine, because honestly, this was going to be a pretty short video anyway. But so I saw these signs, and they're talking about how liquor stores are not bringing in, they're not going to be bringing in more American booze. I don't know how long that's going to last, right? But it did kind of spark a topic for this week. So after I saw that sign, I decided to, like, really think about it. I'm like, what are my drinks of choice? And I have 3 drinks. And some of you guys that have been around for my streams, some other channels that I do, you probably know what the drinks are, because I'm so like non expensive, I guess, when it comes to drinking, that, like, I like what I like, and I don't really swap it up much. So whiskey's my favorite, and I drink Crown Royal. For those that don't know, Crown Royal, it's produced in Manitoba, but it's generally bottled in Ontario. And I like 2 versions of it. They've expanded over the years. For a long time, it was just this bottle here. And this is their original recipe, I guess we'll say. And the second one that I really like is their apple Crown Royal that they do. It's delicious. I started just getting it for the Christmas holidays, and now a lot of the time if I see it, I'll just pick up apple. It's delicious. Yeah, gotta be careful with that one though, because that one, you can totally do that with no mix. Just a small little edit that I'm going to throw into the video here. In case you're curious, these are all the different flavors of Crown Royal. At the moment, they're always adding more. So later on, there might be an extra flavor or 2. But this is the collection so far. The only one I haven't tried in this list is Blackberry. I just have never seen it. I think that might be one of their newer ones. When it comes to beer, my beer of choice is Kokanee, which is, of course, brewed in Creston, BC. And that was kind of, Kokanee and Crown Royal is kind of where I started. Those were my first drinks when I turned 18. I know the rules are a little different everywhere, but over here 18 is the legal age. So at 18 I was able to go to casinos, bars, buy a lottery ticket. Yeah. And then the other drink that I like is ice wine. Now that one's different because it originated in Germany back in the 70s. But in the 80s, some people realized, well, hey, Canada is cold weather because we have some of the coldest winters here. And you need that for ice wine. A lot of grapes actually get wasted with ice wine. So yeah, it's a very interesting story. You need the frosty temperature, and it's a very expensive beverage. I don't drink it all the time. Ice wine is kind of like my treat, and then kokanee beer and Crown Royal whiskey is my go-to, which all of those are not cheap. The ice wine, definitely the more pricier one, but my Crown Royal is generally around $40 to $50. And the last time I bought my kokanee beer, I had bought a 15-pack for $33. So yeah, that's basically it. There is those are my top 3 drinks, and really just the ones I typically buy. At Christmas time, I do like to do paralyzers. I didn't really add it into my list of booze. I'm just kind of adding it into the video, I guess, right now, just to talk about it. But the reason I didn't make it my top whatever is because it's kind of a bit of both of Canada and the States, right? Because paralyzers were basically invented in Canada, the mixed drink itself, but Kahlua is 100% an American alcohol. So it's the drink recipe's Canadian, but the things involving it are not. To be fair, I'm not too worried about all this shit anyway. I just thought it was a great idea for a video this weekend. But yeah, I don't think it's not like we're gonna walk into a liquor store one day and there's no fucking American drinks. I don't believe that at all. Yeah. But I did see that some liquor stores did have that sign up, and at the end of the day, I was like, hell yeah, I am so Canadian, If they did decide to do this, I'm not affected whatsoever, because all my drinks that I like literally are here. They are Canadian brewed, and Canadian brewed or Canadian bottled or whatever you want to say, Canadian made. And yeah, once again, I don't drink that much anyway, but it is nice to know that, if all comes crashing down, I'm still good. Okay, so that's the video. I hope you enjoyed. Have a great weekend, guys, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye.